Hey everybody, welcome to my first stream here on the Houdini Hangout channel. Um, Tonight I'm going to be working for a little bit on my data visualization project for Formula One, working with Mapbox and Houdini, and kind of getting my layouts of these different geographic locations and tracks and stuff like that all set up. Um, and yeah, answering any questions along the way that you might have, or anything that might come up. So yeah, I'm gonna just dive into what I've been working on and kind of show you a little bit of what I'm doing. And yeah, so let's take a look. So um, this is uh, this is a visualization of one of the tracks in F1, and my idea is to do some post race visualization of their data results of the race, things like that. And what I'm kind of looking for is to get a basic track setup that I can start to work with and make. Um, be able to put the cars on the track and have them go around, things like that. And so at this point, I'm just kind of getting some of my different locations together. You can see right here, I've got, I'm not sure exactly how many that is, maybe about a dozen at this point, um, maps that I've put together, all sorts of different, locations and things like that. Um, these are pretty interesting because with the Mapbox data set that you get, I'll jump in here because this one's kind of cool. Um, we actually, this is Azerbaijan, I believe. And what we can get here is these are all the different Mapbox nodes right here that come in, and they kind of create all these different tiles. I also have one that creates the kind of overview tile. This is just one big tile. You can see I can kind of scrub around here quite a bit quicker with this. There's a lot less data that it loads in. But this basically loads in all of my OpenStreetMap data at the same time. Um, and you can see here, I got different buildings and, paths for the streets and things like that. And this will be helpful, obviously, to create some of the details later on in the process of putting together a visualization kind of scene that might actually have these different height buildings and things like that built in there. But for right now, just kind of building out my assets and locations and things like that. I haven't quite gotten to that point yet. I've tested some of it out previously before I started doing some of these streams. So yeah, got these all saved out as caches, and I am working through the list. So let me open up my list here. I've got it on my other screen. Yeah, so the next map that I got to find is in the Netherlands. So you can see here, these are different, countries or cities, things like that. And those different locations I think there's 23 on this next season here of F1, and I'm kind of getting myself ready ahead of time so that as these races happen, I can go through and have all the data updated as soon as the races are over and stuff like that. So yeah, it should be pretty interesting. It's going to be a decently long project for me, but I thought it might be one that would be cool for people to see, kind of how this all unfolds and stuff like that. So yeah. So the next one I'm going to find is, um, what did I say? I already forgot. Is the Netherlands. So kind of my plan here that I've been doing is to go through um, and find this location first of all. So let me pull this up in my Google Earth here. So pull up a tab just so I can get an idea for where this location is. as you can see, this is probably in the exact spot of my last track that I went to here. So um, let's see. So what I'll do here is just bring up these coordinates. No, that won't work. So what I will do is pull up the satellite data instead, and saving them all into Google Earth for just in case I need it later. So let's see exactly where this is. Easier for me to get my I can get my latitude and longitude data from this. Enjoy maps and look over this kind of stuff pretty frequently, so it's not too big of a stretch for me to find a lot of these places. But all right, here we go. This is the one in the Netherlands. So kind of my process is I've been adding this to this project here just so I can keep track of this down the line, like I said. And yeah, so I'll set up a little location here so I can capture the view. I get the latitude and longitude here, but more importantly, I kind of know where it is now, now that I've found it in Google Earth, because the interface in Mapbox isn't quite as nice as this. So you can see here's the rest of the locations that I've found so far and loaded in. So great, got that found. So I will go in here. Let me see which location is going to be better. Yeah, that one will be better to copy. It's a little bit more standard. So pretty much just make a copy of my node here, hide that, and I'm going to call this Netherlands data. So I'll go inside of here, and yeah, you can see here that the these grids are kind of set up to match this here. There's a base kind of 3x3 grid, and then the rest of them are, there's a couple more up here that kind of split out to the top. So when you look at these like this, let's see here, I'll load those all up. You can see the different grids. There's a 3x3 grid here, and then there's two more at the top. And I've kind of laid that out here more or less, just to be able to, see visually in my node network where these kind of match up. So I don't know if I'll need these top two or not. For right now, I'll just turn those off so I don't have to load all the data in. And I'm going to select these all and rename them so that I can look for Hungary, replace with Netherlands. Oops. Netherlands. Yep. It's renaming properly. I'm going to go down here to this cache and just make sure this is Netherlands cache. Don't want to write over my cache. Obviously, that would be no good. So let's pull up the first map here. This is kind of my base location here, so I can just go into this lookup. And sometimes that does happen if the Mapbox API isn't responding properly. So let me just pull that up. Mapbox is it's free if you're using it for a small number of connections and stuff like that. So let me just make sure that my API is up to date here. Great. just see if I refresh this, if that'll kick it into gear. All right. Interesting. Let's see here. So the cool thing about this Mapbox plugin is that you have kind of your latitude, longitude settings here, your zoom. You can also offset it, and that's kind of what I'm doing here to get this grid of higher quality map tiles, basically. And you also get your OSM data in here as well. Actually do not need to be downloading these for each of them, so I'm going to just make sure that's off because none of these are driving my OSM data. Just checking each of these to see if which one is the one that doesn't have the latitude longitude set in it. Okay, it is that one. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a first for me to see that. So normally what this shows is the map basically, but what I could do instead, since this is being a little finicky, I can actually go back here to my project and grab information here. Should be able to refresh this, and this should adjust all of these locations. Let me just see here. I'll refresh this, see what this gives me. It does take a second to download these maps. Well, there we go. Looks like I've got it. The other thing sometimes that does happen as well is if I refresh this, sometimes this tile doesn't change because there's actually a visualization texture set up on each of these height fields, and it sometimes will get itself kind of locked in. So I right click on this, update textures, and that should clear that out most of the time. Now let's see here. There we go. Oh, yep, that is actually that is correct. Nope. Still thinks it's looking for hungry. Double check this, make sure this is going in the right place. Yep. All right, let me try refreshing all of these. I'm just diving in here to maybe just take a look at this real quick. I just want to see if I can refresh anything inside of here. Let me also try updating the materials as well. See if that kicks it into gear. All right. You allow editing of contents like this, it allows you to jump inside and actually see what's going on in here. So let me double check this right here. There we go. For whatever reason, that was not updating. Let's see if I can update this texture. Nope. I might be jumping into all these just to refresh them real quick. Let me allow those. And this is just going to have to take a second. That. Yep. Not 100% sure why this is happening, but I'm guessing it has something to do with a viewport update issue. It should be running in the back. This should be doing this stuff all in the background anyways. So now if I update those, you can see those are starting to populate. So that's working properly now. Let me just keep going through these. The thing that's really strange about this, and I'm not 100% sure why this is that these stay working after I reset them to the current definition. So it's almost like the viewport just gets like kind of like locked up more or less. And yeah, unfortunately that is something that Houdini does have some issues with from time to time. Sorry, hold on one second. My pop filter is getting out of whack here. Yeah, like that one doesn't have any track detail in it, so I might end up moving that one. All right, this should be the last one I have to tweak. All right, let me see here. Yep, that looks good. Yeah, so the only thing I'm going to do is actually get rid of this block because it's totally unnecessary and add one more block here. And this is actually a really simple process to do. Now, what I'll do over here is actually just move it over like this so I know visually what blocks I'm loading. But as you can see here, this, if I go to my base settings here, the offset is 1, 0. So this is 0, 0. This is 1, 0. And this would be, this should be 2. And it's going to update here real quick. So give it a second. Then this should be 0. Then it'll pop down there. So now you can see I've got this block here, and I don't have to do that obviously, but it can be nice just to make sure that I've got, you know, some of these details in here. And the things that I'm actually looking for that I'm going to be working with in the future is like building in these curbs and stuff like that as I go through the different tracks and stuff like that. So I want to make sure that I can see where they're going to be. Unfortunately, in this bigger overview picture, if you look in here, it gets really pixelated. And what it's actually doing is there's a height field here. As you can see, this is actually, I mean, it's Netherlands, so it's pretty flat. But in this, the resolution is a lot lower because the tile is bigger because it's zoomed out. And so each pixel of this height field that I'm using here, which is a voxel grid, if you look down here, it says it's got about 8.3 million voxels in it. But it's a two-dimensional voxel grid. And each pixel or voxel in this two-dimensional grid is getting its own height information. And so the resolution of that is dependent on the zoom level you are using Mapbox. And I could go in and try to find that in the in their like source code or inside of these different nodes here. But you know, if I hunted through here long enough, I'm sure I could find what resolution it's building and all that kind of stuff. But for me, it was more so I didn't I just was honestly just like, well, I can just zoom in and do a couple tiles, and that does about the same for me. So that's what this is doing here. These are my high resolution tiles, and this is just one big low resolution tile. And then this way, I don't have any gaps in my height field, in my overall height field coverage and stuff like that. And these are my OpenStreetMap data. It's kind of funny. You even get these little like beach houses maybe down here. Not sure what exactly those are. Yeah, they're like little houses down there. But you get a lot of you get a lot of data there, and this will just make it so that when I'm fitting anything to this height field, whether it's the track structures or the cars themselves, it's not going to be it isn't going to be breaking anything up. So it's not going to be having any gaps in that height, and it's not going to be like having a hard time figuring out what level it should be at. It's going to know exactly kind of like a continuous height, a continuous surface to snap different objects to. So yeah. So as I was saying earlier, or as I said at the beginning of the stream, if you have any questions or anything like that, please let me know. Just type in the chat. Um, let me know if there's something specific you'd like me to cover in a little bit. I'm certainly not just looking to just sit here and go through exactly what I planned every time, but hopefully there'll be nice little distractions or things that'll take us off, the beaten path from time to time. So yeah, and as you can see, there's going to be times where I don't know exactly what is going on in here. I've been using Houdini for about 5 years now, but it always throws something at me from time to time. So it's a learning experience for everybody. So always ask questions, feel free. So, and I'll be drinking a lot of coffee. So, all right, it looks like I have the Netherlands data figured out here, which is great. I am going to go over to my little checklist here and check off the Netherlands, and I'm going to go on to the next location here. So, oh, actually, the last thing I'm going to do is save my cache. Obviously, that's going to put me in a better spot to not have to download this stuff every time. So I'm going to save this to disk. There we go. You can see this one little panel sticking out a little bit here, but that will be totally fine. The one really nice thing is that this actually, this labs file cache, which is their new, one of the new pieces that they've built out in Houdini 19, one of the new HDAs, it actually structures your cache locations for you. Super, super helpful. There's lots of good resources online that show, how you can do things like wedging and all that kind of stuff, meaning setting up different variations per, per sim or per scene or whatever you can do, or if you have different variations that you want to do on your geometry or on anything in your scene, wedging is kind of the term to look for in Houdini. So this actually builds out all of my path right here, and you can see that my cache gets saved to this whole set right here, and it does that all for you. I just put in my base name and my folder, and it kind of does the rest. I can even version things out and stuff like that. So it's really, really helpful to have this labs cache. I think even the regular cache has been updated pretty heavily, but since I already had labs installed for this Mapbox integration, I was using that as well. And it's great. It's a good one. So, all right, there's the Netherlands checked off the list. The next location is Italy. Cool. So I am going to duplicate the Netherlands map data here. Call this, I believe this will be Monza, if I'm not mistaken. There's actually 2 races in Italy for those non F1 people. This other one is Imola, but Monza is right there. So let's go in here. I'm going to select these, rename them, change this to make sure I'm looking in the right place. And we're going to Monza, rename that. So these should all be renamed to Monza now. Perfect. The only other thing I'm going to do here is do Monza cache. And that goes back to nothing because there is no such cache yet. All right, so let's look this up here. So Italian Grand Prix, perfect. So we had here North of Milan. I actually do really like finding these places. There's the other place. Should be right up in here. There it is. For some reason, it does not let me select from time to time, so this up so the right view. All right. Well, let's see if this setup will work or not. Might not, but let's give it a shot. Let's see if I can. Oh, great. I wonder if that's a bug that got introduced in a more recent version. That's all right. No problem. I will copy this information over like I did last time and we'll go from there. See if, there we go. The update textures trick worked this time. All right, so all right, let's take a look at this overview here. I'm going to refresh that. All right, this is a big one. I'm going to adjust my zoom here so that I can get this entire track in here. What I can actually do is just adjust how I have my zoom set here. So I have it at -2 from the other ones. I'm going to just reset this to -3. Should update, and I'm just going to refresh it here, see what happens. The texture might not update. That's luckily it looks like we've got that issue kind of behind us here. I kind of force these maps to behave, I guess. So update the texture there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Might want to just maybe move it down a little bit. It's a little high. Unfortunately, I normally would do this by going in here and looking up and moving the map. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything to me. Unfortunately, I didn't write the Python for this thing. Oh well. All right. Well, let's see here. Let me see how these are lining up. I'm going to select all of these. I'm guessing this one should actually be back in this type of a location. So I am going to real quick set this to manual so it doesn't update. So this is 1-0. This should be 1-1. Then I'm going to refresh all of these. Go through and download their tiles. Oh, look at that. Got a crash. How exciting. It's a first while working on this project. Luckily, Houdini's crash recovery is pretty nice. Fortunately, sometimes when you're doing some of these stranger setups with Houdini, you can get crashes like that. But such is life. All right, let me go here and open up my crash file. Yep. Just reloading the project here real quick. Hopefully this won't take too long. Right. Perfect. Back where we were. Back in business. Let's try. Actually, you know what? Might as well try doing this again. Nope. Still a bug. Cool. Of course, it's still a bug. All right. Let's try this one more time. All right, cool. That is working. So unfortunately, just way too close. Or not too close, I guess I shouldn't say, but it's not giving me enough detail. Now the funny thing is this this circle here is not the track anymore. It's an old part of the track. For any nerdy F1 people out there. But the part I actually want is this right here. So this, but these two are totally unnecessary. So I can get this one here and actually pull it down like that. I'm gonna set this back to manual. So this is 1, -1. So this will be 1, 2, I believe. -1, 2. All right. With that, perfect. Okay. Yep, that's working. Fits on one tile more or less. All right, so I'm going to grab these two tiles here and just bring them up here. If I'm remembering correctly, there's turns here and here. So let's see if I can get these in the right spot or not. All right, I'm gonna set these back to manual so I don't have to wait for the update each time. So here we've got, should be -1. 2. And this one should be 0, 2. This should be getting tiles up here in a second. So let me visualize that again. Huh, that's interesting. Let me update the textures. It's weird. All right, so this one should be well, let me try this one. This one will be 1, 1. So this should be 1, 2. It is refreshing. There we go. I'm just gonna get rid of these. Not sure what's going on there. Just bring this in. This will be 2. Not sure what the deal is there. Mapbox is giving me some trouble tonight. 0. So this one just is 2. It's looking pretty good. Looks like it. Oh man. Giving me all sorts of trouble tonight. Fine. Oh, that's right. Now I'm remembering what's happening here. The order in which these come in to this merge node here is actually somehow is connected to the visualization setup here with it, because these textures are all coming on here. They're all named. Let me see if I can. That's actually erroring out right now. So let me just do this. 2. Sorry. Okay. So there we go. That all seems correct now. As these are all going in whatever order, if I try to move the order around, it actually is doing some weird stuff with the visualization. If I go here to my geometry spreadsheet and look at these, you can see that these all are probably going to have a similar principal shader 1 name. Unfortunately, that's just part of the way that this Mapbox setup goes, and I don't really have an easy way to change that per texture, but So I think it has something to do with the order that they're going into this merge node. Not 100% sure, but that seems to be the case. Um, so yeah, kind of just have to roll with it on that, unfortunately. But now these are all rendering properly. And as I add them in, I just put them into the end of this merge node, and it seems like that does a better job because I've tried to rearrange these in the past, and that's what freaks it all out. So weird little sort of glitchy thing, but that's all right. All right, so I'm gonna need one more up here. Apparently this is a big track. So I'll do 3 there. That should refresh and be good. Yep, go. And then this one will be up here. This will be 03 as well. Yep. Hmm. Interesting. I don't remember that being in there, but I'm sure they. Oh, yeah. Okay. I do remember that now. Now that I'm thinking back to races, but anyways. Um. Okay. So this should be 2-3. Finish this up for this map. Yep. And there we go. That is the Monza track. Now, if I had a little better control over the map, I might have shifted it a little bit, but it's going to be fine. No problem. I actually have to, kind of or not auto, but manually line up the map or the track data with the track, geographic setup here. It doesn't map automatically with the data I get in from the F1 sources that are out there. So cool. This looks good. I think we're all set. And just one little note here of what I'm doing on this is that when these tiles come in, I put down a group node here that actually adds group data here onto these primitives, puts it into a terrain. I also have a height field group and an OSM OpenStreetMaps group. And so when these all come through here, if I go back to my scene, once I hit the cache down here, which I'll save this out real quick, my Monza cache. Once I come down here, I split them all back out. I've got my terrain height field, it's my high quality, and my OpenStreetMaps data. And that all gets split out using those groups. Super useful thing to do in Houdini. Groups are always a nice thing to do and a good way to kind of collect your data and split it back out once you've merged it into, in this case, a cache. Look at that! You even get the golf courses on the OpenStreetMap data. That's kind of cool. All right, so that is the Monza track. Let's go to the next one. Kind of bummed that user interface is not working. Kind of unfortunate, but what can you do? The map interface for Mapbox is not working. All right, let me check that off my list here. Download the map data. To Russia. All right. Next. Russian map data. Netherlands again, but we'll see where. Pretty sure this is in Sochi. In fact, I know it's in Sochi. sure I'm saying that wrong, but it's okay. And I'll rename the cache as well. All right, let's see if we can't find Sochi. Satellite view. Guess it's up in here. Don't know for 100% fact, but no. It's Caspian. Yeah. Tough one to find. I don't even see it say Sochi. It's all in Russian. Yeah, I never would have found that one. All right. This one's kind of weird. It's actually like all around, which actually used to be the Olympic Park. I I don't know which one. Which one is actually don't read Russian. Sure. We'll add that in, I guess. I get that it should be in Russian, but it's also hard to read if you don't know Russian. All right, let's capture that view there. Oh, that's an interesting thing I could do. I could adjust this and it would give me a different readout of the latitude and longitude. So that might be something that will come into play. It's what it's called. So we'll put it in there. All right. So we found the location here. As we know, we're not going to be able to pull this up with box settings, unfortunately. Oops. So we'll do it the old fashioned way. Mm. Change the zoom so it's -3 from those up close tiles. Let it refresh. And then have to update these textures. So see where this gets us. Yep, that's great. Pretty nicely centered. I think the track goes down to there. You can see how low the resolution of this is when you zoom it out like this. It gets way lower. All right, let's see where this puts us. Let's refresh that. The cool thing is that these tiles actually line up, so it's super helpful because as you can see, if I switch over from this to this, it's perfectly lined up. the resolution might be off by a few pixels just in the reduction or whatever. But yeah, let's update these, see where this gets us. Fortunately, this is a little bit of rinse and repeat here, but you know, if you've got questions, let me know. Um, or if not, just sit and enjoy me doing the same thing over and over for a bit. I think we've got those loaded. Let's see where this gets us. Okay, so I am definitely going to change this because this is so close right here on this on these tiles. It's kind of silly to have this entire tile of information in here to work with, just so I can get this little bit of this turn to go up on there. So let me see if I can manually make these behave. All right, I have to put this over here. Set. Difference. Let's see if that does it. So the interesting thing is when you refresh these, it doesn't completely. It'll completely download all the new files and stuff like that, but like the overview is now shifted, so I have to update that, and then then the overview will match back up with this. But let's see. So yeah, so we've got. Actually, I can't be sure of that yet. Let me refresh these textures. Right click. Oh, right. Because I did the I did the wrong one. At least I think I did. Latitude should be up and down. Push this one too as well. I am really frustrated about this little lookup thing not working, unfortunately. It's just really frustrating. Let me try something here. I know that these are really sensitive, so let's just check this and see if this gives us anything. Oh, that's a big move. All right, let's take a look at that. Refresh all those. Yeah, unfortunately, it's hard to get a live view of all these because it's just a lot of data to load in. You have to download them from it's connecting to that Mapbox API, and yeah, it's loading in. What I have here? Nine different tiles of several 100,000 voxels and setting up height fields and all that kind of stuff. So it takes a little bit of time to load these all in. Oh yeah, that's quite a bit down. It's actually too much. It's okay. Cool. All right, that was. See if I can do. See where I was before actually. Just gonna undo for a second here. 408 was where I was. So let's see if I go to 409 and refresh that. Right. Okay, cool. Looking good. I am going to refresh all these. Hopefully that will be kind of the middle ground here. Hopefully we're going to get this part of the map kind of fitting right in here. Okay, I think that's good. Nope. There we go. Oh, cool. They all updated. Oh, that's almost perfect. We'll call that good. Yep, that fits this part in here. There, yep, looking good. Okay, cool. Alrighty. So, yeah, if you're just joining us, I'm um, working on a Formula One data visualization using map data from Mapbox, and this is Houdini, thus Houdini Hangout, and we are just working through, setting up these different tiles to kind of create a landscape. I have multiple tiles here. I've got this large overview tile that kind of loads in all the base, this kind of continuous terrain, and the street maps data that comes in as well. And that kind of gives me a basis for, locking things to the ground plane, things like that. And these tiles allow me to get a finer view and be able to go in here and see kind of what's going on with, the track, things like that as I'm building it out. So as always, if you have any questions or any, thing that you'd like me to show or do, just drop that in the chat, and I'll be sure to either try to answer your question, or if it's something even totally different that you're stumped with or trying to work on, drop it in there, and I can switch gears after a little bit here when I get to a stopping point, and we can talk a little bit about whatever you're working on. So. All right, I'm going to remove those two nodes right there because we need to add one right here. So you can see that this shape here, this 2x3 grid, is right here, and then there's one extra over here. So I'm going to add one up here, and that actually should complete this track, the close-up of the track. So let's see here. So I'm going to add one more up here. This one is, let's see, this is 1 0. This is 2 0. So this will be 2 1. Drop this in there. This merge node. Yeah, that looks good. So these are the kind of little gaps that you get with these tiles, unfortunately. When you have, high resolution tiles like this that are all kind of stacked next to each other, you end up having these little bit of a gap. And it's just like, I'm pretty sure that that's just like a, some sort of a slight, rounding kind of thing going on here with the way this HDA is set up. But that's why I have this entire overview here that I can actually get all of this height data from, which in Sochi there is basically no height data. It's on the water, but you can see here there's some hills in the background, and that's why I have this data, so that when I try to drop the cars to the track and things like that, it gives me a continuous thing without any gaps. So I need a couple more down here. This is going off the bottom, and then I should need probably one here as well. So I'll probably need 1, 2, 3 more. So I'm going to add these over on this side. Fortunately, this isn't the neatest node network, but what are you going to do? Sometimes they're not super neat. So this will be offsetting -2, 1. This will put an offset there. Yep, that's perfect. That's right where that should go. Then we will drop another one down here as well. And put that there. Should be -2. -2 for the offset because we're down one. Right there. Perfect. And then this one here is the last one we'll do. It's -1, -1. This one should be -1, -2. Great. And that is the close-up data for the Sochi Drome, I think is how they say it. Let's see. There's our overall data right there, our overall grid. Got a little bit of street map data here. You can see it looks like that's a big old train station there. That's cool. It's cool looking. Now, as I was saying earlier, this is actually the where the Olympics were, so kind of an interesting place to have a racetrack. Oh, and you didn't see that. That's all the OpenStreetMap data there. So cool. So I'm going to go down here to this file cache and make sure we got Russia. Save that to disk. That is now loaded into my file cache. So hopefully the next time I load this up, I won't have to load up as much data. Or not as much data, but it'll be a quicker just load from disk and not have to actually, build all these things back out. You can just basically open it back up. As you can see, it's 14.1 million voxels. So it's not exactly the lightest thing in the world, but it works. So that is the Russia Grand Prix track. Let's see here. And lined up pretty good. On to the next one. Go over to my list I've got going here. This will be interesting. This is a street race in Singapore. See how well you can actually get this out of it. Actually going to go back to the Netherlands map data because that was pretty straightforward. Wasn't quite so zigzaggy and everything. Call this Singapore map data. Side here. It's Dutch track. Select these and we rename them. So we're changing Netherlands, Singapore, rename that. Singapore, there's the cache. It's the only thing that doesn't get updated automatically. Wish I could have it search through there, but doesn't seem to be part of a simple function to do, so that's fine. No issue. All right. Time to look for Singapore. I'm reading those coordinates and like they look different to me for some reason. There's look like there are too many numbers. It's be tricky to see. I don't know this one that well. Oh, there's the entire Earth. I do know. I think I know where Singapore is. There we go. To the up or north. All right. Okay. See where it is. Up, down, and around. Okay. I got it. Hey. Looks like a Ferris wheel. Cool. It's fun. Okay. There we go. Got the Bay Circuit. That's what I was looking for. Latitude, longitude, a little more normal like that. Boy, that's close to the equator. It's 1 degree off. All right, Singapore, map 1. Drop that on. I've done that every time. Well, that seems that seems wrong, but okay. Interesting. Just checking something out here real quick. Oh, sorry. All right. Just checking something there. Guess those are the buildings that it's it's seeing there. That's ridiculous. That looks pretty silly. Oh, that's too bad. Hmm. Might be a problem I have to solve another day. Interesting. Okay. I think I got where this is going. Pretty good. All right, let's load these guys up. Let's see what happens. Guess I gotta refresh that one too. There we go. Looks like if I just shift this all down a little bit, I can fit it all basically into a 3x3 grid. Yep. Well, I guess it all fits like that. That's easy enough. It's a nice simple one. These these fake mountains are going to be a bit of a problem, but guess I'll have to figure that one out. Oh well. All right, let me see. This should all line up well. Look at the OpenStreetMap data. For some reason, I don't think whatever those are, if those are roads, they go up quite like that. Hey. Now let's just pretend like we never saw that. Just move along, save the cache, and just put that in the back of my mind for when is that? See when I have to have that got a little bit of time here. Let's see. I don't need that done till October next year, so we'll run cross that bridge when we get to it, I guess. Okay. That's Singapore. Terrible elevation data, apparently. Done with Singapore. Next one is Japan. Now, this is something that I did at the beginning. Was I was like, this should work great. I just select them all and then change the name like this. But if I'm looking in the wrong spot, like here, this is actually going to rename all my Singapore map data stuff. And I've done that too many times. Been burned too many times by it. So I want to make sure this is in the Japan node that I'm changing everything. Then when I hit rename, it actually renames it in here. And as always, got to go in here and change this to Japan cache. And let's go to the map. That's not right. This, well, getting in a rabbit hole here. Japanese Grand Prix. There we go. This one's going to be interesting. That's right. It crosses itself. There's a tunnel underneath that. Huh. Yeah, I get all the fun ones at the end. field does not do well with that, unfortunately. So I'll have to see what happens there. But oh, okay, there it is. Leave it to an American to not know that Toyota is the name of a town in Japan. Learn something new every day. Right. Japan. One of the reasons I can't this here I can't like easily. Oh, well, I guess that's helpful, but hmm, I'm already doing it over here. Oh well, I guess I didn't. I missed this. This coordinates are in here, so oh well. Gonna just keep doing it the way I've been doing it. There it is, Suzuka circuit. We have it captured. Copy this in. And refresh. Well, it's at least a different place. I think that's the corner of it, so that's good. It really is kind of fascinating how different each of these tracks are. I you see them on I see them on TV and stuff like that, and to get the different scale of them is kind of remarkable because it feels like they're all the same size roughly, but then you realize how vastly different they are. And this kind of gives you like a baseline zoom level, so that's kind of pretty weird because you can zoom in and out all around the globe, so on Google Earth hard to know, but this is definitely an interesting exercise. All right, so this is bigger than I thought, so we're gonna zoom out one. Looks nicely centered actually, which is good, but I need to set this back one zoom level. No. So do I have anybody with me, or do we actually have anybody here? Just bots? What do we got here? Anybody interested in letting me, saying hi, or let me know where you're watching from, or asking a question, anything like that? Please feel free. I'd love to have you part of the stream. Well, if you'd like to say hi, please do. If not, I'm gonna keep on going here. Keep on trucking. Okay, let me refresh all these because I think they're gonna all be fairly close here. So I'll let it go. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, it's pretty good. Don't need this one. Don't need this one. So these can get shifted. All right. Looks like I could use one tile here, probably. All right, shift it over. 1, 0. So this should be -2, 0. I'm just going to set this back to manual. Huh. I wonder if that's part of the issue. I had this issue before where it was doing this whiteout thing like that. Yep. Hmm. Really interesting. Huh. So strange. All right. Well, it's okay. I'll just keep going. I found that if I do this at -2 now to offset it by 1, that should put me in the right spot. Great. That's looking good. And we need one over here. Hey. Sorry if that was really loud. Huh. So that's interesting. That happened exactly the same, kind of in the same way as last time, where I had created I got um, one of those white tiles to show up in a previous thing that I was loading. And then when I went to update another one, it crashed last time. It's really interesting. Back to me for a second while I reload here. So I'm gonna try something real quick here. Try to roll back my side effects labs and see if that doesn't fix that issue. I wonder if there's a problem there. So give me 1 second here. I'm just reloading the old Houdini. Excuse me, I bumped you. that one. Gonna mute that. My apologies on this. I'm just trying to uninstall my my labs and reinstall it. And seems a little trickier than I would have anticipated originally here. Please bear with me. Shouldn't be too much longer here. And this should be the last restart. Let's hope. There we go. My watch is yelling at me because I've been sitting here too long. All right, crash file. And we're back. Letting it load everything up here. Shouldn't be too long to get all my tracks reloaded here from cache. If you are a user of Houdini and you're not using Side Effects Labs, don't know what you're doing. Should go get it. It's pretty easy. You just load up the little shelf here, update your tool set, and get rolling. All right. This is gonna work. Let's see. Ah, so close. Maybe not so close. I don't really know. That's really frustrating. It's really weird. Wonder if it's just something I need to restart on my computer or something like that. Good old computer restart. Never hurt anybody. All right. Let's save this as. Go. These all back up and cross our fingers. Bingo. Hey, look at that. That one actually did work. Just decided to crash the computer Houdini. Looks like I just need one more here next to this right here. 2, 0. Again, these offsets tell you kind of where you're going from your center point. So this grid right here, this is your center, 0, 0. And then from there, they all have offsets and they all equally space out across. So this one is 2, 0, so it's 2 over from that. Yeah, and you can kind of see how these all, you see the grids there and stuff like that. And when we go to this merge node down here, this is where everything gets merged together. I bet you these are going to, no, they're not even going to stick out at all, are they? Nope. But yeah, so now this is everything in one place. We're actually got duplicated height fields here. So these height fields are actually underneath this one large height field tile. Let's take a look at the street map data. Kind of always interesting that they have such different levels of street map data depending on where you go in the world. Like these little buildings here, little houses and stuff, they don't show up at all. Although I'm sure the reason is because there's a lot of houses there. And I sure don't want to worry about all that. I wouldn't want to go through and put all those houses in. Anyways, cool. Make sure we've got Japan cache saved there. Save that to disk. And we're good. We're golden. Out of curiosity, I kind of want to see where this, how big this is all going here. Let's see. So this is the really nice thing about these cache um, nodes. It's actually making folders for each of these different things. And it, granted, it only has one thing in here. So it's kind of a little silly, but it makes all these folders for you, keeps your folder structure good. Oh, it's so great. If you had like 10 caches that were all saved like this, it would be, you'd literally want to go give the people at Side Effects a hug just for how great this is. Let's see how big this is. 16 megs. That's it. It's pretty efficient. Data storage. Cool. Just adjust the audio on my input here from my desktop because that was really loud before. All right. That looks like Japan. Well, it is Japan. Guess I should say that looks like Japan's done. All right. Well, I am going to continue for a little bit, but first I'm going to go make myself another cup of coffee so that I am feeling good and ready to keep going. So I'm going to take a break for probably about 5 minutes, go make a cup of coffee, get this jacket off because it's warm in my office and I have a Threadripper and 3090, so it's a lot of heat coming out of my computer. But yeah, so we're going to be doing a little coffee break here. Right. Hey, everybody. So, got my coffee. All right. So let's see. Where was I in the process here? We've got Japan's downloaded, and now we've got to go to the US, Austin, Texas. This one I don't even need to look up, probably. I think I could find it. All right. Rename these nodes. And rename the cache. All right. Got to find it now. Circuit of the Americas. Austin. Ah, shoot. I remember. I feel like I've looked at this before, but I can't remember where it is. All right, I guess so. You don't have to watch me just scroll around on Google Earth. I will look it up now. It's funny. A lot of times it seems a lot. It seems bigger once you when you find it. You're like, or it seems smaller when you find it on the map. You're like, oh, that looks so tiny. I thought it would be bigger. U.S. Grand Prix. Yeah. Where are you? All right, you're down here. That view. Right. Latitude and longitude information in. Just great. Love when the maps are like split. Like, although that one's not too bad. It actually matches up. A lot of times these things when they're split like that, they don't match up even like remotely. and it's such a pain to try. You know, you're like, oh great, this doesn't match up at all. Anyways, that's weird looking. I think I need to zoom out one on this. So let's do that. Refresh it. And update the textures here. There we go. Hey, look at that. It's all one texture now. That's interesting. All right. Let's see where these maps get us. It's going to be a little close, but refresh those. Hmm. Almost nailed it. One corner here, two there. All right. Not too bad. Oh, we need to extend the middle one. So 2, 0. Got that whole turn in there. And then we will do this one. Should be 2, 0. This one should be 2, 2, I think. If my brain's working properly. It's 1, 2. I think that should get us the last coin. It's 2, 1. Ay, ay, ay. That's getting a little late. There we go. Pretty good. It's good to me. Gonna save that cache out. That those are crazy colored different views. Street map data. Oh yeah. That's interesting. This first turn is like into a hill. Kind of weird. All right. That cache is all set. going. Probably finish up this part of the process tonight. Got 3 more maps. All right, Mexico. Let's see where we're going here. All right. To Mexico. I'll set this up in a view that looks pretty good. Since I don't have my map box plugin working properly, just gonna go up a little bit there. All right. Mexico map data. And importantly, rename the cache. Time to copy this stuff in. I was gonna say, that has to be negative 99. Oh, probably don't need to be zoomed out as far. Well, hopefully not for this one. I think it's a pretty small track. So this elevation actually goes from 0. And apparently that's what the actual elevation of this track is. That is pretty significant. That's way up in the air. Apparently this is one of the highest races. Boy, that's in the mountains. It does not need that zoom. think that'll work. All right, let's refresh all these different tiles, high quality tiles, and see where that puts us. Be lucky. Hmm. It's a crazy looking baseball diamond. This track is really interesting because it actually has these like it's like stadium that it goes through. Really strange looking. But anyways, wow, that's probably about as easy as it gets. Although we're like 100 meters off the ground. That's really crazy. Look at that. There's no data for these around here. There's all these little buildings and stuff like that, and there's just like none of it. Hmm. That's crazy. Let's save out the cache, Mexico cache. Next one is Brazil. I actually have this one that I've. Oh boy, that's a mess. That's what we call a mess. Well, this was some stuff that I was working with from a while ago, and I'm just gonna go up here and just ignore that as if that never existed, because that looks terrible. So to think about how to spell Brazil. For some reason, I thought it had a Z in it, but pretty sure it doesn't. All right, Brazil map data. All right, let's find Brazil. I think this is actually the south. I think that's what it is. Yep. Oh, yeah. This is another one that I looked up before I started truly doing this. And I think I remember right where this one is. Sorry, my phone's blown up. Excuse me for 1 second. Tell that to be quiet. All right. To Brazil. Sao Paulo. Down here? Yep. is. It's in here. All right. Capture that view. And copy in our latitude and longitude. I think we should be good here. Let's take a look. Hey, there we go. Yeah, I think this is going to be more than enough. I feel like these are all going to fit right in there perfectly. This one has like a crazy hill across this like little river here, if I'm remembering correctly. These all go. Perfect. Wow. That's nice when that just works like that. Yeah, that all looks good. Quality's good. Good stuff. And then this one has literally every single building, which is, I can't even believe that it has that many. Yeah, check it out. There's this big hill across the water. All right. Wow, that's another one that was pretty easy. Brazil cache. Save it to disk. Boom. One more. One more to go. Abu Dhabi. Don't think I down. Or no. Did I? No. Did not. Just Qatar so far. So. All right. I need to do that one last. Let me just check this other one off here. Mexico, I downloaded. Brazil, I downloaded. I have a whole project management list type thing going on here. I won't bore you with the details of it. I'm using ClickUp. It's kind of cool. I don't know if you've ever heard of ClickUp, but it's a good good thing to use. All right, Abu Dhabi. How will I do this? I don't think I had. Nope. That's how you spell it. Let me just make sure that's right. Yep, sure is. This thing just drew my eyes right to it. I was like, oh, Ferrari World. And then there's also IKEA Abu Dhabi. I guess you need an IKEA if you're in Abu Dhabi. Just seems kind of funny. All right. Here is Yas Marina right here. Now, where's Abu Dhabi? That is the question. This is kind of the crazy thing is that there's Bahrain, Qatar. Well, this year there was Bahrain, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi, which is not too far from Dubai. All in the same year. It's crazy. They don't do them all right in a row. Spin the globe. All right. We are in here. Abu Dhabi. Yas Island. There we go. Yas Marina. See this? I don't understand. Oh, maybe it's because I have that open. Is that why? Yeah, that is why. The That's goofy. I mean, makes sense. Actually, makes perfect sense. I'm goofy for not realizing that was the issue before. Center that up a little bit. Got latitude and longitude here. Now I'm second guessing myself. Is Brazil spelled? Huh. It is with a Z. Except in Portuguese. Ah, I guess it's whatever. It's fine. Just second guessing myself. And I was right to second guess myself because that was not correct. But oh well. Dhabi cache. Rate. Last one. That looks good. Nice and centered. Let's see where this gets us. All right, just about does it. Just need one down here and one up there. Now this is interesting. They actually changed this track before this year's race, I believe. It's pretty similar, but it's definitely not exactly the same. They actually changed this corner pretty drastically and this corner pretty drastically. So when I start building out the actual race data, like attaching it to the track, I'll have to tweak that, but maybe they'll update it at some point, so I can update my maps. But for now, here we are. All right. Hey, look at, wow. Copyright infringement. If I could get a copyright claim, I wonder, for graphics. I don't know if that's possible. Would guess not, but anything could be imaginable these days. Really could adjust that up. It's kind of silly to download this extra data. Let me try it. Why not? Let's see if I do 4.8. Just refresh this one. You can see when it's out of the view, I think. I think that might have done it. Did I do? Why is that? Did I go way too far? Yeah, I actually went the wrong way. Oops. All right, let's see what happens here. Let me see if I can update this. Went totally the wrong direction. Do it. Looks like I got the track fully on there. Yeah, I'm gonna call that a win. Just get rid of this one. Don't need that in there. Not in the close-up, at least. In the wide, it should be there. No problem. Let me refresh that. Like $1 billion yacht right there. All right. This is looking pretty good. This is the last track I need to download. I should say this is the last, map data I have to download. Now I have to get some historical race data to start lining up the races to the maps. So I could give you a little sneak peek of that if you're interested. So if we go down here to the guitar lap, we look here, we've got a bunch of race cars, and I'm going to put the map data down, which is looking a little funky, but that's okay. Let's see here. Yep, I was starting to build out the track information here, but I figured, you know what, I'm just going to go through and get all the maps first. But it's kind of what I'm going to be doing here, putting down geometry that's going to, give me walls, things like that, fences and such. But that's kind of the track right there. And if I go up here and go up to camera 1, go up one, it's kind of the idea I'm going to be going for here, where each of these cars is a different person on the track. Teams are colored. Now, these are super rudimentary representations of the cars. I would much prefer to get their actual colors on there and stuff like that. But next year they'll be going to all new designs and things like that. But I know that this is Lewis Hamilton, this is Verstappen, that's Valtteri Bottas, and so these are all the different racers. And my hope is to get this so that each of these tracks you can see kind of what's going on with the racers as they go through their laps and things like that, and make it so that you can get a real visualization for how these racers kind of stack up against each other. The distances they might be at the end, where they stop, where they slow down or miss each other, as far as one has a quality lap or vice versa, or section of the lap. And my plan is to do this for qualifying, but we'll see what other things I do as the year progresses. So, but I think that's where I'm going to end the stream for tonight. If you see this, you can join the channel at Houdini Hangout. I've got a Twitter account, YouTube, Twitch. Wherever you might be watching from, feel free to subscribe there. And yeah, hopefully I'll catch you on the next time. Thanks so much for being part of the stream, whether you were watching live or watching after the fact. And next Tuesday, 8 o'clock, I'll be for sure streaming, and I'll announce if I'm doing any other stuff. In the meantime, anything impromptu, you can probably catch that on Twitter. That's where I'll probably be announcing it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time.